The opening kick is straight ahead, so it's time to turn it over to my colleagues, Brandon Guyton and Charles Davis with the call. Gentlemen.
Thank you very much, Larry. We are here on a beautiful afternoon for football. Coming up, we've got a good matchup on tap between the Houston Texans and the Seattle Seahawks. Hi again, everybody. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Guyton. And you know, Charles, as Larry pointed out in the open, got a couple of great quarterbacks set to square off here this afternoon. That ball's probably going to be flying all over the place, isn't it?
Oh, without a doubt. And the game has never been more quarterback-centric than it is now. And both of these teams have top-flight signal callers.
Here's the kicker, Nick Novak, to get us started. And off we go from Seattle. Tyler Lockett now with the return. Oh, a heck of a move.
Man.
And he'll take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line. And here comes Seattle taking the field, led by Russell Wilson. In Atlanta in the playoffs where their season ended, he was under heavy pressure all game. Did throw 2 touchdown passes, but also 2 interceptions.
And I think what we saw was a microcosm of the 2016 season where things had shifted to where the Seattle offense was running through Russell Wilson. He was the fulcrum of the whole thing. But they really need to get their running game going again. They have to keep retooling the offensive line and run it as tailback-centric, and then let Russell work off of that.
And his first pass is incomplete. Jimmy Graham, the intended receiver. And that'll bring up second down. Second and 10 now, Wilson. And this is caught. It's Jimmy Graham. The reception good for 7. It's third down. You know, Charles, for Graham, so much concern early in the season about whether he'd be ready. Not only was he ready, he played every game this season for Seattle.
And it wasn't just the injury concern with Jimmy Graham. It's how Seattle runs their offense. Remember, when he was in New Orleans, he could expect a ton of passes to come his way. But in Seattle, that number was going to be reduced. Would he be able to maximize what they were going to throw in his direction? And he certainly did this year, 65 catches.
65 catches, just shy of 1,000 yards, 6 touchdowns, too.
All right, I'm doing my rudimentary math here. That's his 3rd catch here in the first quarter. I don't know if it's just game plan or he's just finding his way open.
And maybe a little of both. To throw again is Wilson. It's caught outright by Graham. And he'll be taken down at the 44-yard line. 8 yards on the pickup there, and it moves the sticks.
How about the timing on that one? Boy, they were in sync, weren't they? 3-step drop, balls out of his hands, right to the tight end. Nice completion, just like they do it in practice.
First carry for Thomas Rawls. And the big boys up front, they're going to stop him right at the line. The big man, Vince Wilfork, able to get him down. And here comes play number 6 on this drive. On second down, Rawls. And some good tackling there as he stopped up at about the 41. It's a gain of about 3, but it's going to leave him with 3rd and still 7 yards to go. And for Rawls in his 2 playoff games, Charles, it was yin and yang. He had 164 yards in the wild card win over Detroit, but those numbers crashed down to earth against Atlanta. 11 carries, just 34 yards.
And it was that kind of a year for Thomas Rawls. Remember, he started the season injured from an injury in 2015. And then as he came along, started to gain some momentum, got hurt again. So it was a tough season for him. I think Seattle's going to continue to look to add to the running back position through the draft, free agency. They like to have a lot of runners around.
And his throw is incomplete. He was trying to get it to Jermaine Kearse. And now it's second down.
I think that's a big-time play there because the slant route is really hard to cover because the timing is so quick. But able to see it, diagnose it, and get to the football, that's why he was able to bat it away.
Complete outright to Kearse. Give him 12 yards on that one. It earns him a fresh set of downs. Long drive. The defense just cannot seem to catch a break and get off the field. And how about this first drive? They're being aggressive, slinging it around.
Really confident, too, because they're not trying to fool them with running plays, throwing it, and they're being very successful right now.
And the pocket's been protected pretty good here so far on the opening drive.
We always talk about confidence in runners and catchers and quarterbacks. How about the protection detail? They're not allowing anyone near the guy throwing the football.
To throw is Wilson. His throw incomplete.
Always give a little extra credit to a defensive back who makes a play on a slant route, especially in man coverage, because you have so much to think about, and your number one thing is not getting beat inside. Well, that's exactly the route that was run. Typically, they try and body up a defensive back.
And that's Curse for the Seattle touchdown, hauling it in. Jermaine Curse, a 9-yard touchdown grab. And the Seahawks take the ball down the field and score on the opening drive. So on third and medium, they dial up the pass, and it works to hit the end zone.
And it's really not a surprise to me. That's a throwing down in the NFL because of how tough it is to run the football. But what offenses like to do is still show run formations to make them respect it and throw out of those. In this case, they took a nice shot at the end zone and made it pay off.
Hauschka now to send this one away following the score. That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. And Brock Osweiler will lead the Texans onto the field. They lost to the Patriots, did Houston, in the divisional round of the playoffs. And after the game, Bill O'Brien saying not sure if Osweiler is going to enter much discussion around the quarterback situation in Houston this year. What do you make of it, Charles?
Well, what a difference a year makes. Because you remember when Brock Osweiler signed with Houston last season, he was immediately named the starter. In fact, he skipped a visit to the White House with his former teammates in Denver to get their Super Bowl rings to stay with Houston to get ready for the season. So that means there's going to be open competition. Tom Savage is now involved, and don't be surprised if Houston drafts an additional quarterback.
Osweiler finished just under 3,000 yards, 15 touchdowns, but 16 INTs.
Osweiler.
Will Fuller was the intended target, and it's second down. Second down following the incompletion. From the gun, it's Osweiler. Surveying the field. Incomplete.
Offense.
So holding by the offense, and maybe now got to shift up what you want to do on the playbook.
Yeah, definitely. Change what you're doing in the playbook, but boy, the advantage shifts to the guys on defense, doesn't it? Longer yardage situations, they often become bolder.
After the penalty, it's Miller. And he'll be limited to a short gain up to about the 34-yard line. Give him 4 yards there, but still in a big hole. Third and long. Third and long. It's Osweiler. He's got time in the pocket. The catch made by DeAndre Hopkins. And he'll get it out to midfield. Looks like with Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin, and it's Texans football as we get going in quarter number 2. They are, however, facing a 4th down situation. And this is going to carry well into the end zone for a touchback. The Seattle now ready to march out of the field. And that last drive, a long drive, but not just that. They had a great air attack going. Do they stick with that?
I would think that they would, because if they were confident enough to do it on the last drive, starting backed up in their own territory, Why would you change anything? They've got to be confident about what they're presenting and continue to do so.
Yeah, because the secondary, they really look clueless.
And that was amazing because that drive went and went, no adjustments, and no big plays by the defense to knock the ball away.
They'll get 19 yards there, and that'll be good for a Seattle first down.
Quarterbacks love slant routes because the receivers are breaking right into their line of vision, and receivers love them as well because they're getting the ball on the move and able to catch it and try and get upfield and gain additional yardage.
On 1st and 10, it's Wilson. And lucky to get away with one there. That one nearly picked. 2nd down.
All right, Brandon, let's take a quick second here and talk about the Steelers and the Patriots for the AFC Championship. How about that game? Has a great ring, doesn't it?
It does. Brady, Roethlisberger, both teams on 8-game win streaks. By the way, speaking of Brady, against the Steelers, in his career, 9-2, 4-0 at Foxborough.
Yeah, and they won this year in Pittsburgh, did New England. But Ben Roethlisberger didn't play in that game.
Well, you better believe he'll be playing in this one. Who do you like?
I actually like New England in this one. Hard to go against Tom Brady this stage of his career. He knows that the end is near, even though he's staving it off. He wants one more shot at the big ring.
J.J. Watt in there to drop him for a 6-yard loss, and that'll lead to a 4th down. And they weren't in zone coverage. They were in man, and each man did his job.
And that looked like vintage, old-school coverage, didn't it? Man coverage reminded me of an old Raiders team. They had a Hall of Famer at one corner and a Defensive Player of the Year at the other, and they just locked people down.
Mumphrey now on the return. Good blocking there. Nearly sprung him. As it is, it'll go as a 19-yard return. And the Texans take possession. And now out comes Houston. And a tight game after punting last time. See if they can get something going on this drive.
As they head to the field now, with the game this close, you've got to feel there's a sense of urgency for them going on offense right now. But they have to do it without letting panic creep in and affect their play.
And speaking of Lamar Miller, up over 1,000 yards this season for the Houston Texans, 5 touchdowns as well. And the second time in his 5-year career, he topped the 1,000 mark.
And he did it missing 2 games due to injury, so just think of what the numbers could have been. But looking forward, he is such a versatile player. I would not be surprised if Bill O'Brien adds a little more to his plate in 2017 and throws the ball a little bit more to him out of the backfield. Get him into space and let him create bigger plays that way as well.
From the gun on 3rd down, Osweiler. And he'll be hit from behind and taken down. Bobby Wagner in there to get him for a loss of 9, and that'll lead to 4th down.
You know, on these types of plays, we're always looking to assess blame. Okay, where did it break down? Sometimes it's just a great play.
And he gets it away, a directional kick going toward the sideline. So out of bounds on the punt, and the spot will be... The side judge says right at the 35-yard line here. And Seattle now ready to march out of the field. They're out in front. Last time they had to punt it away. We'll see if they can add to their lead now.
They don't want to go out and punt it away again. This team now wants to get a cushion, put people away. They want to run their offense and have it end up in the end zone. Some think that teams really won't throw a slant route unless you have a receiver that has a lot of stature to him. But sometimes the little guys, they get lost in there. People can't really locate them, and they run that quick cut on the slant, and oftentimes they can turn it into big plays.
The tight end, Luke Wilson, was the target, and it's 3rd and short.
Oh, man, that was close. The opportunity to change momentum, big play, right in his hands, unable to come down with it.
A sigh of relief, no doubt, on offense if that fell harmlessly to the ground. And he's got Lockett. It'll be a gain of 16 for number 16. 2 minutes to go here in the first half. Back to CenturyLink Field after this. We remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll pay a visit to Larry Ridley in Orlando with our EA Sports Halftime Report. Here's Rawls. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. It's a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up second down.
Not a run that you're going to write home about, but still a good first down run. That's what an offense calls staying on schedule. 3 to 4 yards on first down, you're set up very well for the rest of the drive.
Oh, nice move. And he gets this one all the way down inside the 20-yard line. A good pickup there of 20 yards. A nice, strong run there for Rawls. His coaches back in high school in Flint, Michigan, you know what his nickname was?
No, what was it?
The Train. The man can break some tackles on occasion.
Well, it makes sense when you watch runs like that, because when you're trying to deal with a train, you're supposed to get out of the way, right? And if you don't, you're going to get bruised up trying to tackle him. That's the type of runner he is. He can pop people as he goes by them.
It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up second down. We become so accustomed to it, you sort of take it for granted.
You really do, but he is so good that every team in his division, every year, is trying to make sure they draft people charged with trying to block J.J. Watt. So far, hasn't been too successful.
Tyler Lockett was the target there. Third down here.
I know in every game we do, we talk about momentum. That was a momentum play lost. And now there could be a letdown because they didn't get the interception.
Yeah, you could almost hear the collective gasp on the sideline as he could not come up with that football. His throw caught at about the 5. And he is in for the Seattle touchdown. Tyler Lockett, an 18-yard touchdown grab. And the Seahawks add on to their lead. And that'll give them a 2-score lead here, but I'm looking ahead. They just want to hold it for the final moments here in the second quarter. They don't want to give up anything on the other side.
No, not at all, because if they don't, it almost had the feel of an imposing their will score. And right now, they want to make sure they keep that and carry it into the second half.
That'll be taken in the end zone. And he won't return.